And we're live. Hey everyone, welcome in to the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I am Star the Flippin Hippo, making sure we're live. I'm a professional YouTuber. This is not at all amateur. I know what I'm doing. Hey everyone, welcome into the channel. I have two guests with me tonight that I'm very excited to have, and you can already see them, so it's not like it's a surprise. Everyone, welcome Vikki and Katy. Katy and Vikki.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's see who's in the chat. Jameson's Closet is here and says hi to everyone. Stark Raven Wild is here. Dawn and Jen and Christian. Are you driving, Christian? Christian's always driving when he watches me.
Christian, that's not appropriate. Don't be driving while you're watching.
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate. All right. For those of you that may have come here because you're fans of Katy and Vikki and you aren't familiar with me, my name is Star, and I am, I guess, a social media influencer and a not a YouTuber. I meant to say eBay. I sell on eBay full time, and Poshmark and Macari, and my other half, Keith, who's my partner in life and business, does our Amazon and local sales and also helps me out on eBay. And I do this full time. He still works outside of the house. We are saving up about a year's worth of wages before he quits his job because we're that anal. We follow Dave Ramsey, and then we have to outdo him. He says 6 months, we say a year. But that's what we do, and we have a Facebook group, and I mostly do videos towards new people that are learning, and I do a lot of tough love and telling people how it is. If you're one of my subs and you're here because you like me, I'll allow Katy and Vikki to tell you a little bit about themselves.
Well, you're going to let me talk?
Well,
wow. All right. I'm Vikki. Katy and I each have an eBay store. We have we run separate businesses, but we are partners in life, but not in business. So opposite of you, sort of.
We're lovers.
All right. Really. Here we go. So I've been selling on eBay for almost 20 years. Actually, I've been on the platform for 20 years. I've been full-time for 13 years. And I sell on eBay, Poshmark now. I'm new to Poshmark. Macari, a little bit. I dabble, and Etsy.
You're a dabbler, huh?
I'm a dabbler.
All right. Inappropriate. Anyway, yeah, so I'm Katy. I've been doing this for about like 4 years. I had my first sale in December of 2015. Pretty much dove right into full time, and I sell, like Vikki said, our businesses are actually completely separate. We have our channel together, and we help run a Facebook group. But we each have our own separate stores, which works really well because we get to work together, but we also get to do it the way we want to do it. And we're both very opinionated and think that we know how to do it right. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that we don't have to consult with each other in how we run our businesses. But I have an eBay store. I would say I more than dabble in Etsy at this point. So eBay, Etsy's my number 2 platform. And then I just added Grailed. I finally jumped on the List Perfectly bandwagon because they added Grailed, and I focus primarily, pretty much 99.9% on men's vintage streetwear, t-shirts, jackets, sweatshirts. I don't do pants. I am anti-pants.
Anti-pant establishment.
Exactly. But anyway, so that's what my focus is on. And yeah.
Well, she might have asked us that going forward. So
I don't know. She said to tell me about myself. Tell her about myself.
Tell me about myself. Yeah. Somebody asked me if this is a mountain shirt. Is it?
It probably is.
Probably.
It looks like one.
So funny story. I won this shirt in a contest on Katy and Vikki's channel like year and a half. It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back in my cat t-shirt days. Mm-hmm.
It was back before I was even monetized, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I never win anything. And I was watching one of their live shows, and I just decided to answer the question. I answered a question right, and I won. And I'm like, I never win anything. And funny story, this shirt is so big, and I've been losing weight, so now it's even bigger. It's getting bigger as I get smaller, but I wear it to sleep in.
There you go. Awesome.
In outer space.
It's an amazing. It's like it's probably one of the best. The Castronaut. Probably one of my favorite of all the cat shirts. But here's what happened though, and you guys will, if you don't know us, you'd probably figured out, and you will figure out that there's a little bit of a bickering, more like I do things that drive Vikki crazy, lots of eye rolling and heavy sighing. And at one point, I don't remember if like somehow I ended up with a cat t-shirt. She made the mistake that she often makes, where she makes it very clear how annoyed she is by something. And as soon as I recognize that something bothers her, I'm going to double down on that. Okay. And so I got real into the cat t-shirts for a while. Really, you brought it upon yourself.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to explain that to Keith. I'll do something. He's obviously annoyed. I double down, and he's like, "Why do you keep doing it?" And I'm like, "Why do you keep letting me know it bothers you?"
Exactly. Don't show your hand, man. Come on.
Act like I'm not pulling your arm hairs in the middle of the night or whatever I'm doing. I'm 12. I act like a 12-year-old. But most of you know that from my vernacular on the channel. I try not to swear on my channel too much because I do have viewers with young children. Mm-hmm. And in real life, these two can attest. I sound like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I swear.
I'm offended on the regular.
Star and I both have potty mouth.
Bad. It's
I'm pretty bad.
I try not to swear on here.
I think I tried to not swear on our channel too much.
Yeah, just because they have young, I know that a lot of them work with the young kids at home and they're listening while they're in the room. So I use poop and turd a lot. And that just shows my hand that I'm 12. But oh, cha-ching.
Ooh, I heard a cha-ching.
Ooh.
Wasn't me. My phone's on silent.
Guess what? Another remote sold. Okay. That's all that's selling anymore is remotes, in case anybody heard the sarcasm. But we're not going to go into the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory about October 15th tonight.
I had a feeling we're probably all agreeing with your conspiracy theory. So, you know.
Yeah. So we're going to start with some serious questions. I got 10 questions here. I'm going to ask the ladies about business. So open up your ear balls, guys, and listen, because these two know what they're talking about. And they're successful. I don't have unsuccessful people on this channel. Just myself. Just me. All right. Number one must tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been reselling. So we already did that.
Covered. What platforms do you sell on is number 2. Also covered.
But there's a second part to number 2. Which is your favorite and least favorite and why?
Well, I mean, so my love affair with eBay is very bittersweet. It's definitely, for both of us, our number 1 platforms as far as how much we bring in. So definitely, eBay's like, you have to sell on eBay, but you don't want to kind of thing. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can like relate to that. It's like, for me, because I make so much money on there, it's like I can't just quit eBay as much as I want to sometimes.
It's like the abusive boyfriend you can't quit.
Yes. I would say my favorite platform is Etsy, but I don't make as much there. But it probably, I have like 1,000 less listings on Etsy just because of the nature of the type of stuff I'm selling there. If it had the same number of listings as eBay did, and eventually it will get there, I feel like they would be neck and neck. And I would say Etsy is definitely my favorite. I feel like I have less problems there. I sell cooler stuff there for higher prices. It just feels a little bit more consistent, even though I don't make as much there.
All right. So for me, I have about 1,200 listings on Etsy and about 2,700 on eBay. And I'm slowly crossing my applicable items over to Posh. I think I only have like 150 on Macari, so I don't really count that as much. I love eBay. I've been on this so long that I can't not love eBay, but I don't really like eBay the past 18 months. For those of us that are parents, especially of teenagers, you might relate when I'm saying, I love you, but I don't really like you right now. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I feel about eBay for like the past year and a half. It's like the whole teenager phase right now. So, I make a 6-figure income on eBay. I can't quit eBay, but there is no other platform that sells as well for me. Yeah. So if it did, or if there were, I'd be okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, my least favorite right now, I'm still too new to Posh. I would say if I didn't have, I just started on Posh literally 3 weeks ago. If I had not hired a virtual assistant who is a real person to do all of my following and sharing, I would hate Posh. Yeah. The only thing I'm doing is cross-posting listings there. I am doing and sending out offers. That is literally all I'm doing. if I didn't have to, if I had to do all the following and the sharing and all that crap, forget it. I wouldn't be on there.
I don't really have an opinion about Grailed yet either, because I've only had one sale there. I mean, it is super easy. I'm using List Perfectly to cross post everything. So it's super easy and super fast to add stuff there. So we'll see how it looks in the future. But yeah, it's like eBay. You kind of have to stick with it.
Mhm.
My sales are significantly down. You're looking at my sales numbers for 2019, significantly down from 2018 on eBay. And the only reason I still made more money in 2019 than 2018 is because I added Etsy as a serious second platform.
Mhm.
And the reason I did that, it was because of the whole picture debacle from summer before last on eBay. So eBay keeps doing little things to keep pushing me away to other platforms. And we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the teenager analogy, but for the nerds out there, it's kind of like eBay's Joker and we're Harley.
All right.
Nerds will get that reference.
She's like in no way any kind of geek or nerd.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Puddin.
About car stuff, man. Like, about
Number 3, what item or category do you sell the most of?
Go ahead.
so I sell a little bit of everything, but there's nothing that I won't sell as long as it makes money.
Mhm.
Enough money. I have no moral scruples or anything of the above as far as selling. If it makes me money, I will sell it. So my favorite thing overall is vintage clothing, men's and women's. And that's probably what I have the most of in my store.
Yeah. And so I said earlier, I sell a lot of vintage men's streetwear. So yeah, I'm probably like 75% of my inventory at this point is vintage. It's all men's. And it's just I pretty much only buy vintage for the most part now. And so it's a lot of streetwear, a lot of t-shirts, so a lot of sports stuff and, band t-shirts and sweatshirts and jackets and stuff like that. What happened to?
Oh, I'm just playing while you talk.
Anyway,
you could see the hippo.
I wanted to address real quick. So Goldberg in the chat said 6 figures. You must be getting popular inventory for super cheap. Not necessarily.
Not for either of us.
Vicki and I, even though there's some overlap in what we sell, but once you get to a point where you really know what you're selling, and you can go and find that more valuable stuff, it actually takes, like, I actually spend up quite a bit more than Vicki does, but we both are going for more unique items that, yes, they're desirable, but it's not necessarily high volume.
There's no competition, or very little competition. Like if I find a vintage item of clothing that I pay $20 for and sell it for $150, there is no one else that has that exact item. So I set the prices. And I've known Star is one that's talked about this a lot, and Katie and I talk about it a lot. We don't race to the bottom. I determine what I want to sell my items for. The market does not. If the market wants my item, they're going to pay what I want them to pay.
Listen to that very carefully, people.
And we've put a lot of work into, I mean, Vicki knows way more than I do because she sells a much wider variety of things. She knows all kinds of crazy stuff about just weird things I've never even heard of. But I'm super focused on a particular niche, and, I will pay $50 for a t-shirt because I know my niche well enough to know I can pay $50 for this t-shirt, but I know it's going to sell within the next week or two for $150 or $200.
And that just comes with knowledge. That comes with experience, knowledge, and the skill set that comes with it. Katie and I, we try to teach as much, we try to teach a lot, as Star knows that. We have, with our channel and our Facebook group, we try to teach new sellers, seasoned sellers, anybody that wants to learn. But, there are some things that are not teachable. You have to have, there's a certain amount of skill and instinct that has to come with this business. And it's just not something that's teachable. Yeah. So I don't, like Jen says in the chat, I don't comp anything. I don't look at comps. Comps are irrelevant to me. I don't need to look at comps. I know what something is going to sell for because it's going to sell for what I want it to sell for. And I know that sounds strange to some people, but I don't really need to comp things. If I find something and I think that's $100 dress, I'm going to price it at $100.
So that comes from a lot of experience. But like she said, there is that element of instinct that some people have to work a lot harder at learning what they're selling. And for some people, there's just that element of instinct, and then you build on that with experience. And once you get to that point, you can, because like I said, neither one of us are high volume sellers. Vicki's higher volume than I am, but I'm selling like 30 to 40 items a week. That's not a lot as far as volume goes, but my average sale price is high. So
yeah, we each are six-figure sellers, six-figure plus sellers, and I'm selling about 50 items a week. So it's my average sale price is high.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to add that if you're new, don't stop comping. When you're new, you need to comp.
But yeah, that's how you learn.
That's how you learn.
Of course, that's how you learn.
I don't comp. I mean, and I do oversaturated shit and stuff, and I still don't comp. I'll bring home a pair of Miss Me jeans or silver jeans, and I see that every Tom, Dick, and Harry is selling them for $20, and I'm like, no, because I can get more than 20 for Gap. So I still list my Miss Me's at 50. Now, if they sit for 6 months, I may end up taking 35 for them, but there's always the chance that they'll sell for more. But I don't care about comps either in many instances, because people are definitely, they either don't know what they have, they're not doing the research, they're not comping when they're not experienced enough to stop comping, things like that. And then my plush, a lot of my plush, I have a one-off. So like Vicki, well, I have the only stripe 1980s gremlin right now on eBay. So he's at $75 because that's what I think he'll go for. So
yeah. But also, I think with the comps, it's not just about price. It's looking at, I have this T-shirt that I want to sell, and I see there's 2 other people that have the same T-shirt, same size, that are selling it for what I think is too cheap. I go look at their listing. They don't accept returns. They don't ship international. There's a lot of reasons why somebody's going to look at my listing, or maybe they're not even going to see their listing at all. They're going to look at my listing and they're going to buy mine, even though it costs twice as much.
Yeah, sometimes the opposite works too. Like if buyers see something priced too cheap, they wonder what's wrong with it. They'll avoid it.
Yeah.
Someone said, Goldberg, about people racing to the bottom because they're getting impatient. And that is why 1000% of the time I'm on my soapbox with you guys about pricing high. Look, I'm on my soapbox. I'm getting upset. I also tell you guys the realistic, legitimate expectations of how long items take to sell. I hear sellers saying that all the time. Oh my God, it's been listed and and then you find out it's been up for 3 days. It's a plush. You're waiting for an adult who wants to pay $75 for a gremlin. Honey, it ain't gonna sell in 2, 3, 4, 5 months. You're gonna sit on that gremlin for a year till the right person comes along. And then with most saturated used clothing, you're looking at 6 months.
Yeah.
There's so much of it. And I'm going to get up on the soapbox, but
no, but you're right. It's true.
Patience, it shouldn't be. Things aren't going to sell overnight. You're not going to get rich overnight. You're not going to make 6 figures in your first 2 or 3 years of being on eBay. It all comes with time and experience. And I tell people to realistically, when you list it, unless it's a unique one-off or an electronic or something like that, expect to sit on that thing for 6 months. If it sells sooner, be pleasantly surprised.
Yep, absolutely.
True.
That's my soapbox. And I always smile. I give tough love to people. And then I smile.
That's very true.
Let me ease the pain and smile at you. Okay, so what is your favorite and then your least favorite item to sell?
Yes. Would you like me to go first?
Yeah.
So I'm one of those people, I've spoiled myself to where, you hear people say, oh, they'll sell anything if they can make money off of it. I have actually made it like a point that if I don't like selling it, I'm not going to buy it. So that's why, I was jokingly saying, no pants, but seriously, I do not sell pants. I used to, but I realized I hated taking pictures of them. I hated listing them. They weren't fun for me. So I just stopped doing it. And, sometimes it makes it harder for me to source when I'm limiting the kind of things that I'm going to pick up, but I just don't do it. I don't get button down shirts for the most part. I don't get polo shirts for the most part. I pretty much just do t-shirts, sweatshirts, occasionally sweaters if they're really cool, and jackets. And so honestly, there's nothing right now that I buy to sell that I don't like. I have fun with all of it. And I've kind of gotten myself to a point where I'm excited. I actually love listing now because I'm always excited about every single item that I sell. So yeah.
So my favorite thing is vintage women's clothing. Like it has to be something unique, whether it's a jacket or a dress or something that I find evokes that era, that decade, that specific, I don't know, that whole look that I can envision it on a person wearing that, and they've got a whole look going on. So if I can picture it on somebody and I can picture styling someone, then I'm excited about it. My least favorite thing to list is jeans and pants. I really don't like them. I will pick them up, and it's funny I say that because I have 10 that I picked up this week, which I never do, but they were really good brand plus size and they were cheap.
Yeah.
So I really hate doing it, but
she'll buy it. See, and so for me, if I see something that I hate doing, but I know it's worth something, I just give it to her. Like if we're outsourcing together, I'll be like, hey, you want this? Hey, you want this? Or if I'm by myself and it's something that I know is a really good flip, but I don't want to do it, I'll still bring it home for her because I know that she'll want to if it's worth something.
Guess what's next to me right now?
What?
A 40-pound box of jeans from Startup.
Ugh. The people who do like only jeans, I'm like, oh.
They are my other than Plush. I could sit here and do Plush and jeans.
Everybody has their thing.
Yeah. It's so funny, but yeah, it's not open. It's been sitting here since yesterday, and I will not be able to open it until Friday because I always open them live, and I don't have time.
My friend Corey that's in the chat is a seller as well, and like you, she loves jeans. I just no.
Well, and I hear so many people saying like, oh, I hate selling clothes. I hate listing clothes. And it's like, that's what I love doing. I have fun processing my clothes, washing them, dealing with stains, getting wrinkles out, like the whole process. I love it. It's weird, but it's true. But I love it more because I'm excited about every single piece that I work with.
I'm the same way with jeans. I like measuring I do 8 measurements on each pair. And I do them in chunks of 20, and I sit here, and before we went live, we were talking about shows we like in podcasts. And to me, I guess it's because I have so much anxiety and OCD, it's just so soothing and methodical to me. 20 pairs of jeans, one at a time, same 8 measurements over and over, put them in a list.
It's a ritual. I like ritual. You probably have like a process and you do it in a certain order every time. And that's how I am too. It's like,
and
that's like with hard goods, you have to switch up. Depending, if she does hard goods and clothes and all this stuff, so she has to switch up what she's doing from item to item. I mean, obviously she'll do some like items and groupings, but she can only do that so much. I can do it completely. Like I'm doing all t-shirts first. I'm doing all sweatshirts. Like so it's very ritualistic and soothing to me, and I can just get into my zone.
Yep, I do all Plush. I do all jeans, and then all the other crap I hate. Like I pretty much only, if I could just get away with Plush and jeans and leave and find 3,000 more remotes for Keith to keep him happy, we'd be cool. Because he likes the remotes. I think he's found his golden whatever, because he tests them, he cleans them, he photographs them, and he has his whole system. And so many of them we're finding are repeats. He can just change the number on the listing. And,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So everyone has their thing. And I mean, some people don't like clothing at all. Some people do.
Yep.
That's us, crazy folks, crazy people. I was going to say crazy feeks because I was going to say folks and people. Thank you so much for the super chat, Red Deckerson's resales, $1.27. Thank you. I don't do a song. Do you want to sing?
So Nathan actually, Red Deckerson's resales, he actually gets a special. Somehow some people wiggle their way into my heart and they get their own special like song, or it's not really a song with him, but it's his own little special call out. So I'll do his right now. You can plug your ear or whatever. His is.
You might want to plug your ear.
Yeah. Gotta flip your guns. That's it.
I snorted.
Oh no, that's a good start.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. A very special super chat song just for him.
Nathan's pretty cool.
Yeah. We like him.
That's great. All right. No, I've lost my place.
Sorry.
That was awesome. Favorite place to source. And if you don't want to give away the name, you can just say a store, a flea market, whatever.
Well, I'll say mine is right now is these guys here in town, Yesterday's Fits. Jesse and Austin, they're these really awesome brothers. They're little babies. They're like 21 and 23. I think he turns 24 here soon. but anyway, we were connected with them a few months back, and now it's kind of like we're partners because I go in, I shop from them because I get some of the stuff that's been around for too long. They have a brick and mortar store, but they also sell online. And so it's great because I hate I don't have time to do the hunt, the going multiple days a week, trying to dig through a bunch of crap to try to find one thing. And because I've kind of continually moving up as far as, value and stuff, the kind of stuff I want to sell, I'm not going to find it by going to the thrift store. So I go to these guys every week and I do a bulk buy off of them every single week. I pay up a lot, but it's seriously impacted my sales. They've gone up quite a bit because of it. And really overall, I don't think that my net has changed, like the percentage has changed all that much. So it's been really good for me. That's probably my favorite thing that I'm doing now.
I love garage sales and estate sales personally. That's where I get the majority of my stuff that gives me the biggest ROI. We have a lot of savers here in town, and I love savers as well. But their prices are creeping up real high. There is a lot of competition, so I still do well there. But I really prefer estate sales and garage sales.
Yeah.
And because we live in Vegas, I don't know if anybody mentioned that, but we live in Las Vegas, and garage sale season never really goes away. There's about a 4 or 5 week period around Christmas where they're super light and there's only a couple of them, but for the most part, it's year round.
And she doesn't like to go by herself, so I go with her everywhere. So it's nice because I can go. I like savers. It's just that with what I'm looking for, and because like vintage streetwear is so popular right now, I might find 1 or 2 cool things, and it's not very often I find something like amazing. So
I see Little Bunny Foo. I'm from Vegas. If you live in Vegas right now, we run a local meetup group here in Las Vegas too. So definitely try to find us if that's something you're interested in. It's eBay centric, but it's all about reselling in general.
Yay!
Not to steal your watcher or anything.
No, you're fine. Down in the description box, also I've put a link to you guys' YouTube channel, your individual Instagram. So make sure you follow them there. And then I put the link to their Boss Up Facebook group, which you should join. Everybody should be in that group, and mine, but theirs most especially.
So if you do want to contact us, you can contact us through Instagram. But if you really need an answer back, you're going to have better luck probably with this one over here, because I'm really bad at paying.
She doesn't.
I'm not that active. It's like we do the show, we help run this group, but I'm not super active on social media. I'm just not.
I keep losing my place. That's a good thing. That means I'm listening.
Katy talks a lot.
Sorry.
It means I'm listening to you and I'm interested instead of looking where I'm going next. Your favorite task or part of the job of reselling, and then your least favorite part.
Sourcing, obviously. I mean, that's my favorite part. And I like listing. My least favorite is taking pictures, which is why I generally have someone else do it for me. I do have a part-time helper for photos. So yeah, the best thing I can say to anybody that wants to level up in their business is to hire out the portion of your business that you don't want to do yourself.
So real quick, Pamela, we emailed you back. Vicky emailed you. I just want to know if we got her email. So my favorite, I will say, yes, the sourcing part's really fun. But I will say I've never had a problem with sourcing too much because it's like I need that balance. I get too anxious if I've gone out sourcing too much. Which, by the way, neither of us have death piles ever because we both operate kind of in a similar fashion. But I do love the part where I get to go source, or in this case, like, it's really cool when I get to go to where I'd go now with yesterday's fits, because it's like I know I'm going to come home with a big bag full of stuff. So there isn't that like, am I going to find something cool? It's like I know I'm going to find something cool, so it's even extra exciting because it's like going to see like what I get to get this week. Least favorite, I guess probably all the other stuff, like having to deal with like taxes and bookkeeping and stuff like that, because I don't mind doing the photographing. That's probably like my least favorite as far as the actual process goes, but
I didn't think
I didn't
think about that. I
totally agree. And I often tell people on this channel, do never do what I do. Do as I say. Because Keith and I usually spend 12 hours on April 14th getting ready. Yeah. And I say, we'll be so much better this year. We're going to enter every receipt every week.
Girl.
No, because here's the thing. I hate it so much that if you put a big red button on a big plate or wooden whatever, if there was a big red button and you told me I could push that button and all my accounting and taxes would be done for me, I would set it aside until April 14th and then I would push it because I hate taxes that much.
I am the same girl. I file an extension every year and I have a CPA and I will be 2 weeks out from the extension getting my stuff together. So my taxes won't be done for last year until October 1st. So that,
yeah, we do it ourselves. We had a CPA the first year that taught us how to do it. And Keith is actually the opposite. He likes numbers. He likes accounting. He likes math. But because he still works outside of the house, he doesn't have the time to devote to it. So I'm supposed to be doing it and I don't. And I always say, surprise, in January, guess what? I've done nothing.
yeah. I keep track of everything.
Like literally like 16-hour day on April 14th. Yeah. And then, but we reward ourselves with Cold Stone Creamery.
Oh,
well, there's that.
There is that. And he doesn't get mad at me. And then he just says, make sure you're better for next year. And then I never am.
And then you start the cycle all over again. They're
all in a bag. I have all the receipts.
Same.
They're all in a bag.
Yep.
I have, from eBay Open, from when we went to Florida, they're just, I'm bad at it. And you could give me a CPA that would do it for me. And I would be like, bro, listen, don't worry about it till the 14th.
Pretty much. We both use Mark II, not your dad's CPA, and we file separately because we're not married yet. And we have two separate businesses, so we probably will always file separately. It's just way too complicated to combine the two and all the paperwork and that entails. But we, even Mark, I email him, I need my extension again. I'm just telling you now in advance. I'm never going to be ready.
Yeah. All right. We did the favorite. Okay, so each of you share a BOLO and a NOLO. And if you don't know, a NOLO is the opposite of a BOLO. It said, don't ever source this.
What's your BOLO?
Don't pass up the linen section. I sell a lot of blankets. San Marcos and Biederlack blankets, which people talk about. If you don't know about them, you should look at the solds for them. But vintage San Marcos and vintage Biederlack are two brands of heavy acrylic blankets. They usually have like pictures of like tigers on them or a bear or a deer or something tacky like that. But they sell for a lot of money. And they're usually fairly inexpensive at a thrift store. I sell them for upwards of $100 all the time. So that's probably my biggest tip, is to do not forget to look in the blanket aisle. And it's not just those brands, but lots of blankets sell very well.
What about your NOLO?
NOLO.
Yeah, think about
probably Starbucks coffee mugs. People have been talking about this for so long that they used to be such a great BOLO. There are very, very, very few that are worth anywhere over $15 at this point, and the market is ridiculously saturated. So, leave them on the shelf.
I'm laughing because we finally just got rid of 2 of them the past week that have been sitting around forever. We bought 2 years ago, and they finally sold on Poshmark, believe it or not, when they opened up the Home Goods.
So for my BOLO, I'm not going to be specific. I'm going to say, don't pass up stuff because it is damaged or distressed. So I guess because of what I sell, like t-shirts can be absolutely destroyed. They can be stained. They can be ripped. They can be worn out, faded. The vintage ones, and they can still sell for a lot of money, if not more money, because of it. So I would guess like put some time into kind of getting a better understanding by like looking at solds and stuff for like what kind of stained and destroyed is desirable, as opposed to what's like, ooh. Like I don't think there's any jackets out there that people want stained and destroyed, but t-shirts they do, some sweatshirts they do. They can be worth a lot of money. I feel like a lot of people, they think like, oh, this is stained or this has a rip in it, it's not going to sell. When it comes to like vintage t-shirts, doesn't matter. Sometimes the more beat up they are, the better. And I would say for the leave it, I would say this collectible stuff, like geek stuff, like the vinyl pop things, buy them because you want to put them on your shelf. But for the most part, they're probably not worth a whole lot. And a lot of times you'll see people like trying to sell like giant lots of them locally, and you see somebody being like, I'm going to pay this person hundreds of dollars for their huge collection of pops. I'm going to flip, and probably not.
Yeah, there again, like anything else, there's exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, if something is collectible and popular, then that means the market is ridiculously oversaturated.
Nowadays, especially like within the last like 10, 15, 20 years, it's like things are made to be collected, so they make tons and tons and tons of them. They really don't have a lot of value.
Okay, good advice. Now I'm going to ask you for your advice on something not to do.
Just in general, something not to do?
Just in general. And if you don't pee in the wind.
Don't wait until the last minute to file your taxes. Get your accounting up to date, like we just said. Really don't do as I say, not as I do. Yes.
Yeah. Don't put all your time into sourcing.
There he is.
That was a Keith sighting. It was like Sasquatch.
That was a wild Keith sighting.
I'm going to go back and take the video, and I'm going to get like a really grainy slow motion version. It'll be like the Bigfoot sighting. Anyway, so yeah, you know, like I said, neither of us have issues with death piles, and it's not because we're like super dedicated to not having death piles. It just happens to be the way that we both operate and the way we think. But we see so many sellers out there who just want to shop, and then they end up with like a year's worth of inventory. It never gets listed. First of all, the stuff that you're buying now that might be worth something, a year from now, when you finally get to maybe listing it, it might not even be something people want anymore. And then you just like lost all that money. Or, you know, it's like, I don't know. I just think that's probably the biggest problem that most sellers have is not getting their shit listed. You know, you paid for it, you want to make money off of it, get it listed within the same week if you can, unless you're buying big bulk things like thousands of remotes like a crazy person.
Who would do that?
I know a couple crazy people.
Somebody in Casey did it. I don't know. I'm laughing though because I just put out a video over the weekend. We had not sourced for 5 months.
Wow.
And as of last weekend, we had no more death piles.
That's awesome.
Very awesome.
I have one giant box of what I call the I don't want. They're just a bunch of plush that I actually have to take and put batteries in and test. And there's a ton of them, and it's this giant box. And so I have one I don't want us, but everything else is gone. And we went sourcing on Sunday for like the first time in 5 months. And we were very cherry picky. We came home with very little, and it will all be done by this weekend when we go sourcing again. So that's something I had to learn the hard way. And I definitely agree with you. Because as I was going through the death pile, some of it was like, holy crap, I can't wait to get this up. And like you said, some of it was like, yeah, this isn't good anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Tommy Hilfiger spell out sweatshirt that you thought was fantastic a year and a half ago is now worth $25 when it was $75, a year and a half ago. It just
so we did have to redonate a ton to Goodwill.
I will say to people though, because I hear a lot of people saying like, we're not going to source for the next year. And, you know, maybe you can do that and that would be awesome. But you could also use sourcing as a reward system and just figure out like, okay, I'm going to list, let's say 50 items from my death pile this week. And if I accomplish that, I can go out and source, but I can only buy 10 new items and be super, super picky. But so that you could still kind of feed that desire.
Give yourself a reward.
As long as you're slowly chipping away at it, that's okay. You can do it that way. Just make it so it's like a reward for yourself if you accomplish your goals.
Yeah, I have to say that in that 5 months of not sourcing, I was still getting thread up boxes here and there, but I would totally run out of jeans, and I can't not have nut plush or jeans. Those have to be my two staples.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would order jeans, but in the meantime, I'd be working on, it was so much. It took 5 months, and I list 20 items a day. So you can imagine 20 items a day, 6 days a week. I usually take 1 day off of listing, and he takes 1 day off alternate. So somebody else is covering your butt, but you're taking a day off, basically. But we both list like 20 items a day a piece. He's just all doing remotes. But I mean, you can imagine that's I can't math. 120 a week, that's 240, 480 items a month times 5.
That's crazy.
You had a lot of crap, girl.
Yeah, I mean, we gave a lot of it away. We had to redonate a bunch of it. So yes, listen to Katy, please. Do not end up like me. And like I say, I tell you guys all the time, if you're sourcing more than you're listing, guess what? You ready for some tough love? You are not a reseller.
Yeah.
You are a hoarder, and you are a shopper, and that is not the way you should run your business.
You're not making money if
And
that's what you're doing.
Sometimes I always say, like, treat yourself like you're an employee and look at your work. Would you give yourself a raise, or would you get fired or written up?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
yeah. All right. One final serious question. This goes along the lines of do as I say, not as I do. And I love to ask this of other resellers. What is something you do that others should not, or something you don't do that others should be doing? Because we all do it.
Oh, I can go first with that one.
okay.
Okay, so something that you should be doing that I do not do is have a good inventory system. You should start off when you're small and make it something that you stick to. I don't care what kind of system you use. There are lots of different systems out there and many variations therein, but I don't have an inventory system. I have 2,700 items, and I'm pretty much the only one that knows where they are. Now, to be fair, I do know where everything is. I can find anything in under 30 seconds. But I put everything away, so I know where everything is, and I have sort of a system in my head, but I don't have labeled totes. I don't have like numbers in the you know, the SKU field, the custom label field. I don't have any of that crap. Now, if I were to start all over again, I probably would, but at 2,700 items, there is no way I'm doing that now. Yeah. First of all. Second, the other thing, do inventory. Do a physical inventory once or twice a year minimum. I haven't done a physical inventory in 6 years.
I was like 6 months.
No, I haven't done it in 6 years. So if I were to tell you, I guarantee I have dozens of items that have fallen off the Facebook world or fallen off the eBay world that are no longer listed that I still have in my inventory. And I'll eventually find them because when I come across something and go, oh, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
And then I'll go check, and is it still listed? And sometimes yes, sometimes no. So those are two things that you should absolutely do that I don't do.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't even have to give a different answer because, like I said, it's funny how similar we are to how we operate. Because I know where everything of mine is, but I definitely could have a better inventory system. I mean, I have like all my jackets are hanging up. I have all my T-shirts in bins by size. I have like
you have a better inventory system than I do. But you sell so few variations of things where I sell everything.
But it still could be better, and it could work a lot faster and more efficiently. But taking on the task of completely redoing it, I'm like, man, I don't really want to.
It would take me a month.
Yeah.
It would take me a month to redo it without doing anything else, like just a solid month. And I don't have that kind of time to sacrifice from the business, so I never do it. It's good enough.
But we do. Both of us have like these kind of loose systems that do work. Like she's leaving for a week this next week, and she had to leave one other time for like 10 days. And I was able to find all of her stuff because I understand her system, even though it's not like a set number system. And she had to do, when I was in an accident over a year ago and was in the hospital and recovering, she had to do all of mine. And, you know, it took her a hot minute to kind of figure it out. But once she understood it, she was like, it was manageable. So it's not like we just like are throwing stuff in a big pile or anything like that.
That's true.
That's funny because during that 5 months, that was also something I was doing. I'm actually still doing it, so that took a little bit longer. We have a really good inventory system for our clothing. Our hard goods are a hot mess. They're gross. They're in boxes. I know where this stuff is. He doesn't. It's kind of like you guys. Like our hard goods are gross. Our shoes are organized. But I've been bringing a bin down because our clothing is very organized. I brought a bin down or I had him bring it down. I should say I can't carry it. And I went through a bin a day. Most days, not every day. I'm still doing it. I think that maybe a lot of that time wasn't death pile. It was stuff I found. Why are these Miss Me jeans not listed? Mm-hmm. Why are these plus size Torrid jeans not listed?
Exactly.
So I always advise people to do that too. All right, we're going to get into the fun part now.
Yay! Fun questions.
10 trivia questions. Unless otherwise noted, either one of you can answer. Okay. And you guys can play along in the chat and throw your answers up if you think you know and help them cheat if they don't know the answer.
Try to keep it short, Katie.
Okay, number one, only Katie can answer. Number one, only Katie can answer. What is the capital of Rhode Island?
Providence.
Yes, ma'am. Number two, only Vikki can answer. What is the capital of Oregon?
Salem.
Is that right?
Yes,
I
it
didn't
is.
write that one down. I knew Rhode Island.
It was Oregon City long ago. I was waiting for it to say Portland, but yes, it is Salem.
So look, they know they are each not originally from Vegas. They're from Rhode Island and Oregon, and they know each other's home capitals. Harrisburg. Okay, because he's from here, and I'm like, what? I know Phoenix, but that's cute. Okay, number 3. Who was the killer in the first Friday the 13th?
Mrs. Voorhees.
Do you know her first name?
Mother of Voorhees. Wasn't it like Barbara or something? I don't remember.
Pamela.
Sorry.
See, I knew I couldn't catch you on that because
I didn't know that one.
Jason. No, not in the first one. I actually won a radio contest. You remember when back in the day, because you guys are old like me, you used to call in, you had to be like the 5th caller, and if you had the radio, you won a package. I called in and everyone else was saying Jason, and I said Pamela Voorhees, his mom, and I won like this great Halloween package with tickets to the haunted house, and it was really cool.
Woohoo. He doesn't even wear the hockey mask until the 3rd one.
Yeah, right?
And that's like his iconic thing.
At least Michael was wearing his stuff in the first movie.
Right?
All right, number 4. In what movie trilogy did the actress who played the main character die partway through the making of the 3rd film?
Okay, repeat that question again. In what trilogy the actress playing what?
The main character died.
The actress played the main character. She died partway through the making of the 3rd film. And to answer the question in the chat, it's Carson City.
Oh. Is it? I don't know. This isn't a Star Wars question, is it?
It's a horror movie trilogy.
It's a horror movie trilogy. I'm trying to think. Like the actress died?
The actress died during the 3rd movie.
I
mean, what was it? Poltergeist?
Yes, it was.
That was what I was going to guess. Wait, I thought it was the 2nd movie, though. Okay.
Heather O'Rourke. She was just a little kid.
The little girl, Carol Ann.
Yeah.
She had a weird intestinal thing that twisted up and
the first movie was cursed because didn't like a bunch of people die from the first movie?
Yeah, that and The Exorcist. You could go into both of those movies. But yeah, it's a cardiac arrest and septic shock caused by a misdiagnosed intestinal issue that nowadays would be like in and out of the hospital.
I knew it was something with her intestines, yeah.
February 1988. So that was like 32 years ago. So number 5. King's first novel, Carrie, was published in 1974. Which novel came next in 1975?
Was it Christine?
No. Might have been Cujo or Salem's Lot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm the King fan, not her.
Yeah, no, I am too, but she's like obsessed with him.
Yeah, I tried to sprinkle in some of both y'all. Which Stephen King novel is the last Castle Rock story?
The last Castle Rock story. Which novel? See, now she's actually like, I love like old Stephen King stuff, and I read all of that when I was a kid. But she's actually read like everything up till now, right?
Do you mean Misery?
No.
It's like,
no.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know.
At the end of the book, I'll give you a clue. At the end of the book, the whole town is just like gone. It's the end of Castle Rock because of Leland Gaunt.
That name sounds familiar. We don't remember.
Needful Things.
What is it?
Needful Things.
Needful Things.
Oh,
that's right.
Man, it's been a long time
shop.
since
Yeah, I haven't read that one in a while.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite ones. All right, so Norman Bates from Psycho, Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, and Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre are all loosely based on what real-life serial killer and body snatcher?
Ed Gein.
Boom. Bonus. Do you know his moniker? His serial killer name?
I don't remember.
He had 2: the Butcher of Plainfield and the Plainfield Ghoul. That one's hard to say.
Yep.
I actually, fun fact, you guys live in Vegas, so this is probably not exciting for you, But Casey took me to that museum.
Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum.
Yes, that one.
Mhm.
And they have Ed Gein's kettle that he used to hang people
Yes.
with.
Yeah, I haven't gone yet, but I really
She hasn't
want
been.
to.
I've been.
And they have that whole serial killer room with like Richard Ramirez's glasses and then like Casey's drawings. And Casey said he was happy for me because he'd never seen me that happy before, but he was really kind of creeped out. He'd never seen me as happy as when I was near serial killer trapping.
I loved that museum. As you know, I've told you, I have my first cousin is a serial killer. And you know, she's fairly infamous and sends me Christmas cards every year. And, you know, I've always wondered if I should donate some of the things I get from her to that museum, but I didn't want to, like, her parents are still alive. I don't want to get there and go there with the family, but would be interesting.
Well, when they pass away, you can.
Yeah.
Do a podcast. My cousin was a serial killer. Who is the cutest Ewok?
Who is the cutest Ewok?
Yes.
That would be what the heck is his name?
You got a picture.
I know I have him on my phone.
Wiki.
It's a well, no, Wicket. Well, Wicket's probably the cutest. This isn't Wicket though, but I'd say Wicket.
Oh, it's not the cute little one you put on your.
Cute little one is the one that I have holding the gun to Baby Yoda because I'm sick of.
Is his name Nipples?
What?
Pocket? I don't know his name either.
It's like Ricket or I don't even know. It's like one of those obscure ones. But Wicket,
I think you say him, but Wicket's pretty cute too. But the correct answer is none of them. Baby Yoda is cuter.
No.
No.
Incorrect.
Trick question.
Yeah.
Trick question. All right. Number 9. Are you aware that there's a National Taco Day?
Well, there's like a national day for everything, but I don't know what the actual date is.
October 4th.
All right. Because you know what? In my heart, every day is National Taco Day.
It is, but we have to celebrate on the National Day. And as a bonus question to that one, do you know how many tacos Americans eat every year?
Not enough.
A ton.
It's crazy. Americans, not Mexico. 4.5 billion tacos a year.
I think we can make some improvements on that.
I think we can do better.
Yeah.
All right. So the 10th question was actually sent in to me from a mutual friend of ours.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Mutual friend of ours.
Oh boy.
I'm supposed to show you that. It's really hard to say, but can you name that actress?
Is that sent in from Britain?
Can you name it?
Recognition photos?
And I need to also know if she's dead or alive.
That's Elizabeth Taylor, and she's
dead. Asshole.
She died March 23rd, 2011.
We got that one right in well, no, but yeah, I think we got that one right in trivia. I don't know.
Well, for the chat who's completely lost, we have a mutual friend named Britton that also lives in Vegas, and I got to meet him at Open, and he goes to trivia nights with the girls.
Yeah.
Apparently there was an argument over this question at a trivia night.
Really?
There was an argument over whether she was alive or dead.
Yes.
Really, we go with him. He was doing trivia long before us. He invited us to go with him. So it's not that he comes with us. He allows us to go with him.
He allows them to go with him. But he sent me a private message, and he said, you've got to do this because I think the girls will think it's so funny. And I'm like, I'm thinking I'll do it. He's like, you have to show the picture or it's not funny because that's how they do it at the trivia. They
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we're getting it. Oh, wait, we got Keith's question.
Oh, the bonus question from Keith.
In the comics, who created Ultron?
Who, what?
In the what?
In the comics, Marvel Comics, who created Ultron?
I have no idea because I don't. I love comics, but I'm not a big fan of the big two like DC Comics or Marvel.
I don't even know what Ultron is, so you got nothing from me. Sorry, Keith.
No, I don't. I think I know it, but I don't remember. I'm not as good with that. So I like a lot of like the other comic companies like Vertigo and Image and stuff like that, but yeah.
Looks like Derek.
When it comes to superhero stuff, I have a harder time.
Looks like Derek might know the answer if that's
Thanos?
correct.
No, that's not correct. No, Hank Pym. He also created Ant-Man.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know that. I don't know that at all.
Not a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Baby Yoda didn't exist, we would still have Disney Plus for Marvel movies and Star Wars.
There you go.
Nerd cards all around. All right, we're gonna get into the this or that.
Okay.
I think I explained before. I'm just gonna shoot them off. You guys can answer. Boom, boom. Decide who goes first or whatever. But I want you to answer like with your gut, your first instinctual reaction. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Taco or burrito?
Taco.
Ooh, burrito.
Oh, and the rule is you can't choose neither or both. You have to choose one.
Okay.
He just chose burrito, guys. I think hell froze over.
I love tacos and I eat them all the time. But if it's like one or the other, if it's like the best taco versus the best burrito, I'm going to go with the burrito.
Fries or nachos?
Fries.
Horror or rom-com?
Horror.
Book or movie?
Movie.
Book.
Hulu or Netflix?
Netflix.
Hulu.
Watch a movie in the theater or at home?
Home.
eBay or Etsy?
Etsy.
eBay.
Thrift store or yard sale?
Thrift store.
Yard sale.
Clothes or hard goods?
Clothes.
Hard goods.
And YouTube or Facebook?
Facebook for me.
Neither really.
can't say
I know
neither.
I can't say neither. Probably YouTube.
We are
And-
opposites on everything.
But honestly, like I'm not.
You guys were both like fries.
The fries.
But honestly, like Facebook and YouTube, I'm hardly on any of the social media.
Oh,
be
Little Bunny
honest.
Foo Foo. Favorite season of American Horror Story. Coven.
I am not caught up. So
I like to call it Coven.
I can't. Where the hell am I?
Favorite, probably Asylum.
So it went Roanoke is the last one I haven't seen. So it went Roanoke,
It
Cold.
was dumb.
Ugh,
I've got to be honest with you. They've sucked.
it's been
from like
terrible.
season 4 on. They've just sucked and suck and suck
Yeah.
and suck.
I was so
Suck it up, suck it
excited
up.
that there was like an apocalyptic one. Because I love that's what a genre that I really, really love is like apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic stuff like that, like disaster, end of the world. And so I was super excited that was going to be a season, and then we get into it, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell? What's with all the witches and wizards shit?
It's terrible.
Like it turned into, it's not. I felt like they pulled a switcheroo.
I haven't seen Roanoke on, and someone said, "Wow, Star, they're on Hulu." I understand they're on Hulu, but so is Castle Rock, Dracula.
There's so much.
There's so much, and I will be honest with you guys. Like I stream stuff while I work all day, but it's stuff that I can just listen to and not focus. Stuff like that I want to watch.
Yeah.
And then, in addition to the millions of series that are on Hulu and Netflix, there's also tons of horror movies, and I legitimately only watch 3 hours. Like sit down and watch, not working at the same time, relaxing. 3 hours of TV every Friday night. I take off work early, and I watch TV while he plays WoW with Casey. So it's really hard to get caught up when you only watch 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
Because
We
the rest
watch
of the time, my
a lot
nose is in the book. I read
We
a lot.
watch while we work. Some stuff I can watch. It depends on what it is. Some stuff I can watch while I work and pay enough attention. Sometimes I just have to watch something mindless. But we also watch stuff together. But like I'm really excited because Better Call Saul just like dropped the latest season. We're watching the Outsider, of course, and there's like a bunch of series. We're like binging Homeland right now. We're like on the 5th season, I think. So there's so much stuff out there to watch.
There's some good stuff.
Oh, I'm on Nosferatu still, by the way. That's how far back I am.
Well, we
And by
just
the way-
actually just finished it. We're waiting for the new season to come out.
Nosferatu was written by Stephen King's son, for the chat that didn't know. Joe Hill is Stephen King's
Joe
son.
Hill.
And
There's
The
a new
Outsider
series.
is a Stephen King book, which is amazeballs if you actually read the book.
It is.
It
And
ties in with Mr. Mercedes and
the yellow under. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I've read them all. Like there isn't a Stephen King book I haven't read through.
There is a new Joe Hill series that is dropping too.
Yes.
Lauren did.
The
Lock
Secret
and
Keys.
Lock
Yeah.
and Key.
Lock
That's a comic that he wrote.
Yeah, he does graphic novels too.
Yeah, so and Lock and Key, so that kind of stuff, like I'm way behind on it, but I actually, when Lock and Key first came out, I was reading, like that's the kind of stuff I read a lot more of. It's like horror and sci-fi and that kind of comic stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the weirder superhero stuff that's outside of DC and Marvel, but
All right, so we could talk about this forever, but
hey, listen, you non-geek. maybe we want to talk about geek stuff, okay?
I do want to put one fun fact about Joe Hill out there. Then I got one more this or that for you from Keith.
Okay.
So when he first started writing, the reason he wrote as Joe Hill is because he didn't want people to know. There goes the Keith.
There's a Keith sighting.
He didn't want people to know he was Stephen King's son because he wanted to make it on his own merit. And he became a New York bestselling author on his own without ever doing book signings or showing his face or doing pictures. And once he made it, he went somewhere and someone said, "Oh my God, you look just like Stephen King," and that's how they put it together because he looks like his dad.
Oh, it's ridiculous how much he looks like him.
He's a marginally better looking Stephen King. But Stephen King's like he's a goofy looking.
They're
dude.
both goofy looking.
He's a goofy looking dude, but Joe Hill's a little bit better.
Yeah, and Owen King,
his
other son, is also a really good writer. Just putting that out there. Okay, Keith's this or that for you.
All right.
Historic fantasy or futuristic fantasy?
I hate fantasy in general as the genre, so I would probably say historic. That would be the only way it would hold my attention.
Well, give me an example of the two. I'm trying to think.
Medieval, unicorns, wizards, witches. And futuristic would be like Star Wars, right?
I'd be futuristic then. I mean, I like some of the older stuff. Like I loved Game of Thrones, the books and stuff like that. But
nope.
But yeah, I'd say futuristic probably. More sci-fi.
All right. Excuse me. Let me just burp live. Did you guys bring questions for me?
We did. Yes. We have questions for you.
Okay, now I get to answer questions, guys.
Yes, I have them. I have them right here. Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
You start. This was your question.
Okay, so I think I have a good question to start. What movie could I force you to watch on repeat to break you the fastest and make you do my bidding for eternity? So something that like you hate to the core of your soul.
Wolf Creek.
Wolf Creek. Just play that on repeat and you're mine forever. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's a terrible movie.
I was going to say that for me, it'd be The English Patient.
Listen, I left the theater, went out and had a cigarette, came back and missed nothing.
Go ahead.
All right. What toy were you obsessed with as a child?
That's a toss-up between Star Wars toys and Smurfs.
Which Star Wars toy? Was there a particular one?
No, I just have like the little action figures, and then I had this glow-in-the-dark gargoyle castle made out of Legos. You could build it yourself. So I built the castle so it would glow in the dark because I was afraid of the dark. And I put all my Smurfs and my Star Wars guys in the castle together, and they protected me.
That was awesome.
Okay.
I had one of our family friends when I was a kid, because like never really got that great of toys from my parents. But I remember for Christmas, it was actually my music teacher. She got me, it was a Jabba the Hutt toy. And it was the one where it's Jabba the Hutt, and it had like the floor that you pull this little lever, and the floor would open up, and it had all the bones at the bottom and stuff. Oh, I love that. I loved it.
I hated Barbies. I always chopped their hair off, and they always became hostages of my G.I. Joes.
I got Wedding Barbie, and I shaved her hair off into a mohawk, and her ears actually got shaved too. And I put her in Ken's clothes. So that's how it worked for me.
Mine always became victims.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
Why, are you trying to move me along?
Yes.
See, she's always a taskmaster. Jeez. Sorry, we're enjoying ourselves here. Oh.
You're supposed to be asking her questions, not answering them yourself.
Okay. No, I can see. There's no. All right. Okay, Star, is there a rule that I can't also answer the question I ask you? Is that a rule on your show?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to answer, or I want to ask that question. So, do you want to? You can ask the next one.
All right. What character trait will nope you right out when you meet someone?
God. Okay, it's really hard to explain, but if you've been through it, you know it. If you don't know what you're looking for, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But once you've known a narcissist or a sociopath, there's red flags that'll ding. They have like dead shark eyes. Their smile is forced. It's really hard to explain unless you've lived through it. You know what I'm talking about. But they have dead shark eyes. and they smile too big, and what comes out of their mouth sounds like they practiced to be a human being.
I hear you. I hear you.
There's little red.
That's a very fair and accurate representation. Yeah, if you've never known a narcissist, a true narcissist, and we use that term very loosely, but if you've never known a true narcissist, you might not recognize those signs. But if you have and you know that person well,
or a sociopath, because they don't. Sociopaths.
I feel like you're talking a lot for a question that she's supposed to be answering.
They don't feel any. Sociopaths don't have like empathy or human emotion, but they know how to fake it really well, and they can fool most people with their charisma. Ted Bundy's a good example.
Yeah.
But if you've lived through a sociopath, you can see, oh no, this is a monster that has practiced to be a human, and he is pretending to be a human.
Yep,
that's fair.
I don't know if I've ever looked at it quite like that when I'm meeting people, but I know for me it's definitely like that. If I feel like somebody's not genuine, like I just don't have time. I don't have time for people that are like faking it, and
I'm really bad.
Feel like they're real.
My whole face, if I don't like you, it's super obvious. People talk about resting bitch face. It's not resting. It's so, if I don't like you, it is all over my face. I am not good at faking it at all. And this one, she doesn't even try to fake it. If you're talking to her and she doesn't like you, she turns around and walks away. She has done that before and left me.
Like, I'm really good at faking it too, so maybe I'm also a social. I can. No, I will never speak to. Here's the thing: I'm not you, and I'm
there's
not.
A certain point where if I think somebody is like not being genuine, or if I think they're not very considerate of other people, it's like I'm like, okay, I'm done, and then I'll just kind of remove myself. Sorry.
Yeah, in a social situation, that's kind of easier. Like when you're at open and there's tons of people in the room and you're in a group.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in that group, I was like, you are a fake. I don't like you. You're a liar. I could just sneak away.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll do it when they're talking to me in a group. So she'll just look and she'll just turn around and walk away.
I'm compassionate. You're not good at pretending to be human.
And I'm stuck there, and I'm stuck trying to make excuses to get away from the conversation, and she's already left the building.
It's true.
But he doesn't call people. He don't like people.
All right, next question. What was the pivotal film that started or cemented your horror obsession?
The original Halloween. I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Very young.
5 years old.
I snuck out of bed because I wanted to see what they were watching on TV. My mom and dad. They were watching something good. It sounded good. So we had a couch that wasn't against a wall. It was like in the middle, but there was a wall. If you can imagine. So I snuck around the corner. I went down the hallway from my bedroom, snuck around the corner, and went behind the couch up against the wall and kind of crept all the way forward so I could peek around. And I watched the entire movie. And then I went to bed. I did not have nightmares. And I told my mom the next morning, I snuck out and watched the movie. And she just like had this kind of talk with me with, well, you know, the blood is ketchup and they're all actors. So every time you saw someone die, there's a director there and he yells cut. And then she gets back up and everybody claps for her because she's such a good actress. And because my mom said that to me and instilled that in me from a very young age, I just never had problems with watching it.
Yeah.
But I was 5. I had to know what was going on. People are screaming. I have to know.
I saw Return of the Living Dead when I was 6. And I think that was what started my obsession with zombies. Because I remember seeing like little bits and pieces of like Night of the Living Dead when I was even younger at my grandparents' house. But we told our parents that we were going to my cousin's to watch Annie, which was we were out in the middle of nowhere. We went down this little dirt path to get to my cousin's house. And we went and watched Maximum Overdrive and Return of the Living Dead. And Return of the Living Dead was awesome. Mm-hmm. And it scared the shit out of me, but it was awesome. And I love zombies.
See, I love vampires. I always have this expression I tell people. When other little girls would sit and dream of their prince coming to rescue them, I would sit and dream of my vampire coming to whisk me away for my perfect unlife.
All right.
That's good. All right, last question. What is your favorite joke?
I don't know if I have a favorite joke.
I know that one puts you on the spot a little bit. I should have
really
said
does
earlier.
I can't even think of any off the top of my head.
You can't think of any.
All right, you owe me a joke.
And normally I'm full of those really lame like dad jokes because those are fun. I love puns.
Yep.
and dumb dad jokes. And I'll read one online and I get to laugh into where I'm snorting and crying. And Keith is like, that's the dumbest joke. And I'm like, okay,
All right, dad jokes. It's a category of jokes.
I like it.
We'll go with that. You like lame dad jokes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Jen says that hers would be the old 80s Tales from the Dark Side. You mean the Tales from the Dark Side movie? Because I love that. The Tales from the Dark Side movie was so awesome. When he remember he gets captured by the witch or whatever, and he's like kind of like a Hansel Gretel thing.
I don't remember that, but I
has
remember
to tell her
watching
stories.
every Sunday creature double feature movies with my dad when I was little, and like Mothra and Godzilla, and that was kind of where it started.
Yeah. Oh, and do you remember? Because Star, I think you're the same age as me. Maybe what year did you graduate high school?
I was born in 78.
You're born. Yes, so you're like a year older than me. So,
That's not what you asked, but
so my dad got rid of our TV when I was like 4, but just before that do you remember the series V?
oh, the alien and ripped out of her.
Remember they did like a remake like on the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that a couple of years ago or whatever it was. But yeah, it's the aliens that come and they look like people, but they're really like lizard people.
I remember that.
My mom watched that with me.
Yeah, so I remember that because we had like this little black and white TV, and I remember watching that with my dad, and it being like horrifying because they like unhinged their jaws and like
and the one lady gave birth, but it like literally.
Oh yes. Oh, it was crazy, but I loved that series. Like I thought it was so awesome, and it was really super scary. But I would have been like 4. I would have been so young.
I really liked it too. Now I have to say, I have to take back. There was one show that did actually bother me and give me nightmares. And I can't remember if it was Creepshow or Twilight Zone, but there was a woman in jail who said she was innocent and she wanted to escape. She made friends with like the undertaker or the caretaker, the dude who dug graves at the jail. And she, with him, made this escape plan where she would climb into the coffin the next time someone died. They would have the funeral, bury the person, or they had like a pauper's grave at the jail. And then he said he'd come back late at night and take her up and let her escape. Well, so she gets in the coffin and she gets buried alive. And the very last scene is her lighting the match in the coffin. And it's that guy. She's buried in with the guy that's supposed to dig her out.
Ooh, that's good.
That one was one of those, like, for 5 months later, I was still thinking about it.
That sounds very Tales from the Dark Side.
And it really bothered me because I guess being buried alive is pretty.
Oh, that's pretty horrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty horrifying, I'm sure.
So, all right, we've kept these people longer than an hour. Do you have any last?
This is short for us.
Because you're like, this is short for us.
Oh, I don't think I showed my T-shirt. Vicky just got this for me. I showed it to Star, but look at this amazing rad BMX movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger mashup. That's like on a tie-dye shirt. It's amazing. Vicky, she knows her way to my heart.
It's rad.
It's rad, man.
Oh, and for those of you that followed the girls over here and don't know me, never seen it, there's my bullet journal.
Oh, yeah. Follow your dreams, guys.
Follow your dreams. Use it every day. There's my pencil and my to-do list for today.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Impressive.
It's pretty big every day. But I write everything down, like, wake up, take meds, pee.
That way you can cross them off and you feel accomplished.
Exactly. And I have to do everything being OCD in a certain routine and order every day. Do you have any last minute words of wisdom or advice? Go do your taxes.
All I can say is that, some people say this occasionally, but it really needs to be said more. Don't compare yourself to other sellers. You are on your own journey. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. Katy has been doing it for about 4 years now. It's, you're not going to become rich overnight. Like you had said, this is not a get rich quick.
We're still waiting.
I'm waiting to get rich. I work my butt off to have gotten where I am, and everyone does. And you just, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you're home and you're working out of your house because you can't hold down a 9-to-5 job for whatever reason that may be. I found that a lot of people like Star, work from home because of physical issues that they're not able to work a 9 to 5 somewhere else. So, you put in the time that you're able to put in and do the best you can with that time management, and you are going to be successful. Your degrees of success might vary, and it might be different from Mrs. Jones down the street. It doesn't matter. Your journey is your journey, and comparison is the death of joy. Yeah. So if you compare yourself to other people, you're never going to measure up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just worry about yourself.
Exactly.
Worry about yourself. Okay?
Mind your business.
That means if things aren't going well for you, listen, we could sit here all day and bitch about eBay, and we do sometimes. But you know what? Ultimately, it comes down to you need to figure out what to do to be successful, and you're the one that has to put the work in. And if something's not working for you, then do something else. But if you want this to be your job and not just a hobby, I'm sure maybe some of you guys are just hobby sellers, but if you want this to really be your job, treat it like a job and put in the time, and it will work out for you. But it's up to you. Don't externalize everything and put all the blame elsewhere, because then you're not looking at what the things you can do and the things you can change to make yourself more successful.
Exactly. And as far as not comparing yourself to others, sorry, I throw my phone around. I tell people that a lot, and I cannot express how important I think that is. And a good example is we have a bad weekend. We sell 10 items. Other people see that on Instagram and they're like, oh my God, why are you saying this is bad? I would kill for that. And then I say it's all
relative.
It's relative. That's the word I'm looking for. Because if I have almost 2,200 listings, there's no way in hell I should only be selling 10 a weekend.
Right.
But if you've only got 100 listings and you're new and you're just getting started, 10 a weekend would be amazeballs for you. Right. But if I sold 30 a weekend, which is right where we should be, and someone like, you guys are familiar with Robert Zombie Bargain Hunter. He's the other Plush guy. He has 4,000 listings. If he only sold 30 in a weekend, which is an excellent, amazing blowout weekend for us, for him, that would be like us getting 10. Right. 30 for him would be like, oh my God, that's a really bad weekend. So you have to keep it all relative. How far are you in your journey? How many listings do you have? How many platforms are you on? And are you top rated seller? Do you have your feedback yet? There's a lot of things that take place into how many you're going to sell. We hit about 1,000 listings before we ever saw sales every single day.
Yep.
Clapping.
Exactly. And it depends on what your selling model is, because it's like, I don't really want, I sell 40 items.
So I would cry.
And you know what? A weekend for me, 25 to 30 items is a standard on it for a good weekend.
If I had to ship 100 items on Monday, I want to kill myself.
That's
my average sale price is $55. If I sold 100 items in a week, are you kidding me? I'd go have a friggin' blowout party. But that doesn't happen for me, and that's okay. Everybody is different.
Yeah, everyone is different. And then you have to take into account, don't compare yourself. But if you know someone is relatively similar to you, like let's say Megan Mawini and us, we have very similar business models. We sell the same types of jeans. And we do all the same best practices, free shipping and all that. We're all the same. She sells about double of us. But guess what, guys? She has double the listings. So if you ever know that you're super similar to someone, check something else out. Maybe they have double the listings, or maybe you guys have the same amount of listings, but they're doing all these things that all the big sellers tell you to do as best practice that you're not doing.
It's true.
But yeah, before you compare yourself, you shouldn't compare yourself at all. But if you feel the need to, figure out what they're doing different from you so you can better yourself instead of just feeling bad.
Yeah. Or just see it as inspiration. Like I remember when I was first starting out and I'd see somebody else's 60-day numbers and they were so far ahead of me. And I looked at it like, I can't wait till I get there. And then I got there and I passed that number up. But it's like, if all you do is look at that and go, oh, I'm so discouraged because I'm not there. It's like, you're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it all wrong.
Yeah. And I actually don't ever really want to be where Megan and Robert are. That's wonderful for them. But there was a time when we wanted to have 4,000 listings at an anchor store. But then I found out, if we're going to diversify on all these different platforms and I'm going to do the Instagram and the YouTube, there just ain't no time in the day to list that much. So we have to be content with between 2,000 and 3,000.
Yep. And I have an anchor store, and just for me, because I like to end and relist items and more frequently. And I found with the middle level store, I was constantly just paying so much per listing. But I love having an anchor store, but I'm never going to have 10,000 listings. You know, I struggle to keep it above 2,500, and only because it's been so crappy since October that we won't talk about. Do I actually have more than 2,500 listings? So, you know, maybe I'll get to 3,000, maybe I'll get to 3,500, but I doubt I'll ever get higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were almost to 3,400 when I started the YouTube channel. And it was even before I was monetized, I already could see if I'm going to be doing videos consistently, putting out content, there's no time. If you don't want to be social media influencer, by all means, list 40 items a day, get to that like Megan does. Mm-hmm. She has help.
Same as you. We help run a Facebook group. We have our YouTube channel. We run a local meetup. I'm part of the SDA program, the Seller Diversity program with eBay. So that's another volunteer portion of what I do. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of time taken away from the business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I will say for me, my business is my first priority. Like, we like doing our shows, but for the most part, we do them live because it's easier to manage time-wise. Otherwise, it's not my first priority. And that's why if you go follow me on Instagram, you'll see that sometimes 2 weeks go by and I haven't posted anything on Instagram because it's not really my priority.
See, my priority has become the social media. And again, everyone's different. See, that's our point. First thing in the morning, I roll over in the bed and I put a motivational quote on Instagram every morning.
Yeah. I
do that before I even get out of bed. That's just part of what I do. And I do a video every single day, unless I have a migraine or I'm sick. Every single day.
Yeah, never. We can barely do our 2 a week, and that's why we haven't gotten to 10,000 subs yet in 18 months because we're not putting enough content out. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. It's not paying me enough money for me to take that away from my business yet. Yeah. So
I don't edit at all. I treat every 20-minute video like it's a live show. Yeah, I worked that over. Oops. Okay. Well, we're just gonna keep going.
There you go. That's how.
I don't edit. Yeah, but everyone's priorities are different too. So just keep that in mind. Don't compare yourself to other people. That is one of my. I don't want to say it's a pet peeve. I guess it hurts my emotions when I see other people doing that to themselves.
Yeah.
It goes one of two ways. You either compare yourself and you feel discouraged or down on your own self, or it can go the other way where you compare yourself and you start to feel smug and you get a big head and you think you're better than other people. And that's not good either.
Right. Yep. For sure.
So mind your business. Stay in your lane.
Worry about yourself.
I always say, mind your business. Like when I sneak in with a snack and Keith's looking to see what I have. Mind your business. All right, guys, we are going to let you guys go. It's been about an hour and a half. I think I already said this, but in the description box down below, there's some links for you guys. There's the link to the girls' YouTube channel. I always call you guys the girls, by the way. You're the girls.
The girls.
Keith knows who I mean when I say the girls. The girls and the boys are David and Bill. Mm-hmm. The boys. So there's a link to their YouTube channel down below. If you don't subscribe to them, you should. They do live shows where they show what they sourced and what they sold, and you can learn a lot about vintage just from watching those videos if you want to learn vintage.
And we're very transparent with our real numbers too. Yeah. So that's something that we do that not a lot of YouTubers do, which is fine. It's everybody's preference. But we talk about our gross sales, our net profits, cost of goods, all that kind of stuff. So, you get the whole picture.
Yep. They're very transparent. So you should also be in their Facebook group, which is linked down below. It's a good group where they actually talk about taxes. Most groups won't. And I'm one of them. I will not talk about taxes or give tax advice. Not in a heartbeat. I majored in English. You do the math. And both of their Instagrams are down below. Follow them both. Give them some love. And if you're not in my Facebook group, you should be, because it's a really nice corner of the internet also.
We're both in that group too. Yeah. It is cute. Yeah. It is a nice corner of the internet. That's a nice way to put it.
It is a wonderful corner of the internet. It's very positive in there. And you can come in and be a newbie and ask a totally stupid question and no one bullies you or makes you feel bad.
Yep.
It's a good group. So that's down there. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Nope.
Do I hear a dog?
Yeah, the dog's whining because Dana is leaving. So Dana was here doing some listing for me this afternoon, and then she uses our photography stuff to take pictures for herself for her own store. So she's been taking pictures while we were doing this, and now the dogs are whining because she's leaving, and she is the treat queen.
She gives them more treats than we do, and so they lose their ever loving minds when she comes over. And any move she makes, they're whimpering and crying at her. It's pretty
pathetic.
ridiculous.
It's pathetic.
It is.
That's so cute. I was like, do I need a book? All right, that's it. So thank you to everyone that joined us tonight and spent an hour plus here with us. We appreciate you.
Thanks for hanging.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it. I invited you in July.
Well, then you get sick for like a month, and then it was too busy, and so yeah.
Yeah, I invited them. I saw them at Open, and then I got sick, and then we went to Florida, and then Q4 was busy, and I just called the whole series. But it's back.
Yeah.
Baby.
Bing.
So, anyways, thanks guys for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who watched.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to Nathan for the super chat, and thank you for the song. It was great. And like I always say, you guys, until next time, go be productive, go make some money. And thank you for watching. You guys are all the best. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.